Did you know that 90% of chief information security officers are willing to take a pay cut if they could reduce their stress levels? I didn't, until this and a few other shocking statistics were revealed in a report called CISO Stress, published by Nominate Cybersecurity recently. My name is Faz Siddiqui. I'm a specialist solution architect at Red Hat, focusing on Ansible automation platform. And I believe what we're going to see today in this talk will be helpful to you if you've ever dealt with security operations in any shape or form. And with that, I would like to take you through a journey in the life of a Chief Information Security Officer called Christina, and see how Ansible security automation can help her simplify some of her daunting security challenges. Christina is a newly hired Chief Information Security Officer at a large organization and is already facing the same challenges as many other CISOs are experiencing in the enterprise. Her predecessor has just left his job only a few months in the position, and Christina has now been taken on board to lead the security team here. She's just had a meeting with the board of execs and the CEO, where they have all expressed great concerns about the state of security in their organization. Their concern is compounded by the fact that one of the competitors has just gone through a major data breach, and the likelihood of similar thing happening to them is high. An average cost of a data breach is around $4 million, and the longer it takes an organization to detect and contain a threat, the more costly it becomes. So, after this meeting, Christina has been reminded of the tough job and the long hours she has ahead of her. Why is enterprise IT such a leading issue? Even though many CISOs like Christina have a bright and highly skilled team of specialists, they are often overwhelmed and overworked. Security teams are frequently stretched to the point that they can only examine around 5% of the alerts they receive daily. The attacks are generally getting more severe in nature, and hence the time it takes to resolve an incident is increasing. The security teams rely on a large number of tools, on average around 40 different products and solutions per team, but these tools are usually not integrated. So it takes a lot of manual intervention to get them to work together, and this leads to slow reaction to incidents. One option for Christina and other security managers is to hire more staff and increase the size of their teams. But the issue is, even if they lived in a perfect world with no budget limitations, they would still struggle to find the right people with the right set of skills, because there's a serious shortage of security specialists in the market. This lack of integration between the security tools and solutions has been an ongoing problem for a long time. Given this large set of tools that the security team uses, imagine the amount of manual work that is needed for each and every investigation, jumping from one tool to the next and from one solution to the other. In addition to this, in the recent years, cyber attackers have become making use of AI, machine learning, and automation, and therefore attacks have been getting more severe and more complicated. So no matter how many human operators we add to our security teams, it's almost impossible to cope with this complexity, unless, like the attackers, we also make use of technology. Technologies like Security Operations Center Automation, and as we all love a good three-letter acronym, SOC Automation. A SOC is an organization or a team, which is a combination of highly skilled specialists, the technology, product, and solutions they use, together with a set of clearly defined and repeatable processes. And this combination, usually operating on a 24/7 basis, is used to prevent, detect, assess, and respond to cybersecurity events so that the attacks or intrusions can be contained in the shortest time frame possible. So in other words, The function of a SOC is the overall task of protecting an organization against cybersecurity attacks. Depending on the unique characteristics of an organization, SOCs could be implemented in a number of different ways. But for the sake of simplicity, we can group them into 3 different categories. A command SOC is usually a group of highly specialized analysts acting as a governance facility. They monitor events and provide recommendations to teams outside of the security organization. The multifunction SOC is made up of the representatives of various areas of the IT organization working together to define and execute policies and actions. And finally, Cyber Fusion Center is the forward-looking model of a SOC. The idea behind this model is to involve all other functions within a company to all work together. Now, let's look at what Christina's plans are for her SOC. Since Christina is a forward-thinking leader, she's looking at the bigger picture. The vision she has for her SOC is to embody detection, response, threat hunting, threat intelligence sharing, and data sciences. She envisions to bridge the gap between disparate teams like SecOps, IT organizations, and physical security and product development, and all the others to improve threat intelligence and accelerate the incident response speed and reduce the organizational costs and risks. Her approach is a multi-domain way for managing security operations so that the Security Operations Center can be more proactive in dealing with potential threats. But her current situation is far from that. She has a number of siloed teams, some of which are located in different physical sites. And cross-team communication and cooperation is either non-existent or where it is present is usually formal and managed through mails, tickets, or spreadsheets. They are using dozens of disparate security products which don't interoperate and don't offer the possibility of a holistic approach to cybersecurity. Her security teams are drowning under an impossible amount of manual work. As a result, the detection and response to a cyber threat is dangerously slow. Christina believes that it is time to break this old way of doing things and embrace a new approach. And a good way forward in doing that is to make use of automation. As you may be aware, there are a number of automation solutions out there, and it may be a bit confusing to know which one is most suitable. But there are some important factors to consider when we plan for our security automation. First of all, since Christina, similar to many other security managers and directors out there, has security team members with different domains of expertise, she needs to choose a language that is easy to write and understand so that different teams can document and share information easily. And since security teams work with a variety of tools and products, the suitable solution for her has to be open and unbiased in order to interoperate with the entire security infrastructure and vendor ecosystem. And since automation isn't done in a day, the security teams need a modular and extensible platform that allows them to deploy automation in steps and to accommodate additional and future security tools from vendors as needed. These are all very important factors to consider in a security automation solution, but there's one more thing. Remember, Christina is responsible for managing security within an enterprise, so she will need all the tools, support, and services that is required for running such an organization. With that in mind, a suitable solution for Christina can be Ansible Automation Platform. Because this platform is a foundation for building and operating automation services at scale. It combines a simple, easy-to-read automation language with a trusted, composable execution environment and security-focused sharing and collaboration capabilities. This is an open foundation that allows Christina to connect and automate almost everything, not only in her security teams, but the rest of the IT infrastructure, and create a common platform for participation and sharing across the entire organization. This is something that aligns perfectly what she has with the vision that she has for security operations. And included with Ansible automation platform is Ansible Security Automation. Ansible Security Automation is a supported set of security-focused Ansible collections, including modules, rules, and playbooks. These collections allow the activity of multiple classes of security solutions, such as firewalls and intrusion detection and protection systems and access management systems, and SIEMs and endpoint security and so forth, to all be coordinated so that the security teams like Christina's can have a more unified and faster response to cyber threats and incidents. Now that Christina knows the platform of her choice is Ansible Automation Platform, she's faced with a question. The same question as many of our customers ask when they first look into automation. And that is, where do I start from? And that was exactly the same question that I had when I entered this room a few years ago. This may look like a randomly downloaded picture from the internet, but it isn't. This is an actual picture of my office. I just got a new job as an IT support in this prestigious research center, and so was so excited to make a fresh start. I turned up to work on my first day, and as per tradition of IT teams, I was taken to the basement of the building, to this storeroom, which I didn't notice at the time, but it was going to be my office for the next 6 years of my life. So that day, I was tasked with making a desk space here. As daunting as chaotic it seemed at the time, I knew I had to get this done, and I also knew I couldn't aim for perfection. So I started at the corner and slowly made my way forward to the rest of the room. And soon I ended up with a functional workspace. And after a bit longer, I managed to make the office into this. Not really. It took me a change of buildings to get there. But improving the office space wasn't something I could apply Ansible automation to. But I'm sure once you have Ansible automation, you can make huge improvements on your operations, including security, without having to be as drastic as I had to be with my office space. But the point here is, when you are going to start automating security operations, similar to any large, somewhat chaotic project, what you need to do is to start small and simple, like I did at the corner of that storeroom, and improve incrementally and iteratively. And the most important thing to remember is that automation is a journey. If we look at any large enterprise, the recommended journey of automation for security can be mapped to 3 main stages. This is just a guideline to show what security automation journey can look like. There's no need to start from the beginning or follow every single step. That depends on each specific situation, the organization, the nature of the business, the maturity level, size, location, and so forth. If we go back to Christina's vision for her security operations center, which was to move from siloed teams with little collaboration into an operational unit with a cohesive workflow, which falls in the most advanced level of maturity. This is all a journey of learning, progressing, and maturing. And to progress in this journey, she needs to increase the overall organizational maturity. And this increase in maturity needs to happen both at a cultural level as well as a technological level. The technological maturity can be framed as the tools and technologies that Christina adopts as she progresses. By applying frameworks such as this maturity model, she can get a really good insight as to where her organization currently is, where she wants to get to, and what she needs to get there. This is particularly useful in helping her with the adoption of the right tools and processes at the right time in order to make their automation journey successful. The aim is to avoid implementing advanced tools at early stages. Introducing a disproportion between the complexity of tools and the existing minimum operational requirements could put her organization at the risk of wasting time and resources. This is why it's important to go through a self-assessment exercise to determine the current position. As an example of technological maturity, as Christina is progressing with the adoption of the technologies, one of her security teams purchases a security information and event management system. They purchase this SIM so that they can use it for compliance purposes, but they've just realized the tool can do more than just that. So they've decided to team up with the rest of the security organization to implement the SIM and make this transition from an opportunistic to the systematic stage as far as the technological maturity goes. And at a later date, once they are ready to go one step further, they may be introducing a SOAR, security orchestration, automation and response tool. But the point is, no matter where she is in this journey, with Ansible Security Initiative, she can have all her needs supported. She can consider Ansible as a foundational technology that will accompany her to where she wants to get to. Although at different stages of this journey, she might require different tools and technologies, Ansible remains the platform of choice to integrate these technologies to reduce operational complexity and help her get to her ideal security operations center. We have talked about starting small and simple. With that in mind, I'd like to show you the 3 high-level investigation and response use cases that are extremely common across nearly all security operations centers. And each of these use cases could serve as a good starting point for security automation. Investigation enrichment is all about finding information in order to help with threat investigation. How Ansible Security Automation helps here is by enabling the programmatic manipulation of logs. As an example, users can send edge firewall logs to log correlation or analysis facilities like a SIM, or they can programmatically increase the verbosity level of logs when they need more information in order to assess an event as a part of an investigation. Threat hunting is a prevention activity. In other words, the steps analysts take to proactively protect the organization. As an example, security analysts often update their tools to identify newly released cyber attacks or malwares. In this case, Ansible supports signature manipulation to enable the automatic update of an intrusion detection and protection system, no matter what the source of the signature is, usually from a security bulletin or security ISVs. In this case, Ansible also supported the update of correlation searches and event automation on SIM, so analysts can create new alerts from actions or changes operated on other security devices. And finally, in incident response, Ansible can help security teams to automate those last-mile actions to stop the malicious events. This could be blocking an IP address or a URL on a firewall, or blocking a set of credentials on an access management system. Let's pick incident response and see how Christina and her team can start automation from here. Like we said, Christina's team have just implemented a SIM, a Security Information Event Management System, and are now using it as their central event management system. One of the security analysts working with the SIM is doing his usual threat investigation when he suddenly notices an alert. The alert seems to be related to a set of credentials, but before he can start his investigation, he first needs to log the incident in the logging system and then create a ticket for the attention of the access management team to ask them to block these credentials while he performs his investigation. He then needs to create a ticket and then wait for the access management team to pick up this ticket, prioritize it, and finally perform the action he asked them, which was blocking that credentials. This can take a long time. Once the wait is over and the credentials are blocked, the analyst updates the team to say that the criteria is no longer met and to stop further alerts on this incident so he can get on with his investigation. He does his analysis, and based on the results, he decides that the credentials have to be reset. So once again, he needs to go through the ticketing system to ask the access management team for the password reset. And once again, wait for them to respond. Once this wait is done, he then updates the ticket with the relevant actions and closes the alert and finally closes the incident ticket. As you can see, there are a number of manual actions involved in this use case, and some of them are introducing long delays to this process. So let's see how we can save time by using automation here. To start automating, Christina's teams need to look at every action and start converting them into Ansible playbooks. Actions such as logging, updating and closing a ticket, and blocking credentials and forcing a password reset. Once actions are converted into modular playbooks, then they can be run manually on the command line, or they could be run as separate jobs or even chaining them together in Ansible platform to achieve an end-to-end automation. But it doesn't really matter how these playbooks are triggered. What's important here is that by converting these actions into simple automation pieces, Christina is now reducing or almost removing the delays involved, so saving time right away while eliminating human error. By now, I'm sure we can all appreciate how important timing is when it comes to managing incident response. In this scenario, automation allows Christina's team to contain and neutralize the threat almost straight away. An important topic to address here is the ownership and the responsibility of these playbooks. Once the actions are turned into automation pieces, you may be asking who owns these automation pieces and who is responsible for them. Well, that depends on each use case. In this one, security analysts are the ones who need these automation pieces to perform their investigation. So the ownership of this part of automation can be assigned to them. So every time they trigger these automated actions, they are responsible. But since this is an action that involves other teams, in this case, the access management team, all these automated components will have to be pre-approved and certified in advance by them or any other team that may be involved in any workflow. Once Christina is ready to move on to a more advanced level of maturity, she will most likely be introducing a security orchestration automation response, or a SOAR, to her operations. But this doesn't mean that she has to start all over again and throw away all the work that has gone into creating Ansible playbooks earlier. She can just connect the Ansible platform to her SOAR tool and reuse the content she already has while she's taking advantage of the higher capabilities of a SOAR. So no matter what stage she's at, she can benefit from introducing automation to her operations. Now, let's have a look at a threat hunting example. So as a threat hunting exercise, Christina's team receives security bulletins containing updates of the signatures for the latest attacks, or new compromised domains or IP addresses, and so forth. This comes from various sources and on a regular basis. These bulletins come in various shape or forms, but ultimately they end up in a spreadsheet. This information in the spreadsheet then needs to go in different places. One of them is the rule engine of the Security Information Event Management System. Doing this manually involves a lot of tedious and error-prone effort, a lot of pointing and clicking. With Ansible, the data from this spreadsheet could be ingested and used as an external source of variables for different playbooks. And in this case, playbook that's used here is to automatically update a rule in a security information and event management system. So once automated with Ansible, the bulletin is received, ticket is opened, playbook is executed, the rules and the sim are automatically updated, and ticket is closed all automatically and seamlessly. If you'd like to see the code behind a piece of automation, we can look at this snippet from an investigation enrichment use case. In this scenario, an analyst has found an anomaly about an app that is protected by Cisco ASA firewalls, and he wants to get more information from the logs in order to proceed with his investigation. This is what the code looks like, just a simple, easy to read YAML file that forwards the logs from the firewalls into a central syslog. So instead of having to log in each and every device to fetch and export the logs, all we need to do is to run this simple playbook and we're done. We've seen how Ansible security automation can help teams like Christinas simplify the complexity involved with running their operations by providing a simple, powerful, and trusted automation solution at every step of their automation journey. And hopefully, with all these benefits that Ansible automation brings, Christina can start to reduce her stress and anxiety and join the group of decision makers who, according to a report by IDC, achieved more efficient security incident mitigation, more efficient security patching, and more productive IT security teams. If you'd like to find out more on how to simplify your security operations center and the measurable business value of Ansible automation platform, you can click on the links provided on this slide. Thank you.